Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tarek Fattal, SoCal Prep Legends, alongside Fred Robledo, and Aram Tolegian. We are going to break down the brackets, the games, the questions, everything you need to know going into what they always call the third season, the postseason. So we'll get right into it.
That's right.
And hey, first question: who do you think has the best draw? Aram, we'll start with you.
This is pretty easy, Tarek. Los Altos. Los Altos, the number one team in Division 6. And a lot of the coaches this year that got number one seeds, they kind of felt like they got screwed as far as their first round matchups. Los Altos can't say that. This is one number one seed that legitimately got that, I don't want to call it a soft first round matchup, but this is a team they already beat this season in week 0, 38-6. And that would be San Marino. So I would say Los Altos, and then when you look beyond that, there's nothing that's not doable for them. So I think clearly they have the best draw. They're a number one seed. They got a draw that looks like a number one seed's draw where you can kind of pencil them in to the semis or beyond.
Yeah, you didn't talk to Dale Ziola yesterday. I did, and he thought it was an absolutely horrible draw, having to face San Marino again, a team that they've beaten. And he gave me the whole, you're different in week 11 than you are in week 0. I tried to say, hey, coach, this team hasn't looked good all year, but he's convinced this is going to be a tough game for him. So you might have an argument from Coach Ziola. I'm going to go a little different on this, Aram, because I think some of the teams that got the good draws are some of these teams that got placed in generous playoff divisions after being in tough leagues all year.
All right.
And I really like St. Paul at Monrovia. I mean, St. Paul in Division 7, this team, historically was a Division 1-2 juggernaut back in the day. They've fallen all the way down. They've come out of the tough Angeles League. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody more battle-tested in Division 7 than St. Paul. And the way I like these brackets, I think they win this game. You probably get a home game in round 2. And they're probably as good as anybody in that division when you think of Diamond Ranch and South Hills also in it that can go on and win it. My other team is LaSalle in Division 9. I think they're
Wait. What are you, 2 answers here?
I can't go 2? I can't go 2?
Come on.
Well, I like LaSalle in Division 9. LaSalle, I know you've had some tough games all year. You're going to make a run too. Okay, we'll go to the next one.
Okay, since Fred got to say two things, Aram, let me ask you: is Tyler Nevins possibly that division's player of the year?
Yeah, he might be the Tribune Player of the Year, which is even saying more. Yeah, I mean, let's see what he does. Needless to say in the playoffs. But yeah, if they go on and win the CIF championship, it's hard to see anybody besides Nevins winning it. And for a question that we'll answer later in this thing, I'll speak further to that.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, question number 2: who got the worst or most difficult draw? Fred, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to start in our area, and I'm going to use this because I think Charter Oak got a tough draw because of the teams they've got to go against. I just talked about Ziola not wanting to pace a team twice. Charter Oak's got to play a Glendora, a team they routed 43-0 earlier in the year, and possibly even Damien in the second round. And why is that tough? Because when Charter Oak whipped on these teams, they had their quarterback, Brett Clementson. They looked like the number one team in Division 4. They looked like someone who was going to run the table and send Lou Farrar off in some great historic ride at 6th title. Now all that's thrown out the window. We've seen how they played toward the end of the year. They really struggled. They lost that game with Los Altos. And I really think these teams, I think when Glendora saw that game, they said, yeah, we think we're getting them at the right time. This is winnable. So I think, for Charter Oak, Aram, that's a tough game in the back of your mind to have to deal with.
Yeah, they really, I'm sure Damien is looking for another crack at them. Obviously, Damien would have to win its first round game. But Freddie, we were there when Damien played Charter Oak. And if that game does come off in the first round, which is assuming a lot, when Clementson went down, that was the game he went down in. After that, even ball game.
Right.
So, like you said, there's serious danger there. Yeah, I agree with you. That's certainly not a great draw. But on the other hand, you could say Charter Oak has the scoreboard factor and the confidence to know that they've already taken care of both of those teams. My most difficult, worst draw goes to what Freddie said, kind of the flip side of what Freddie said about his most favorable draw. That would be Monrovia, who's playing St. Paul.
Right.
Okay. Angeles League team.
Champion game.
Yeah, Angeles League team. Cathedral's League, St. Francis's League, LaSalle's League, Harvard Westlake. They also made the playoffs. Now Monrovia, congratulations for winning the Rio Hondo League. You get a home game against a team from the Angeles League that's probably probably a 14-point favorite in this game. If the St. Paul team that shows up in this game is the one that showed up against Montebello in week 0, I think that, or week 1 or week 0, that was a 7-6 win, then Monrovia has a good shot. And Monrovia is very fast. But tell me, Fred or Tarek, when you've seen Amon Milliner, the running back from LaSalle, when you've seen the skill players that they have at Cathedral, when you've seen a quarterback like Michael Bonds at St. Francis, like St. Paul has, what does Monrovia show you that worries you?
Nothing really, because Monrovia's gone through the Rio Hondo League. We saw them struggle in the non-league like they have in recent years. And look, the Rio Hondo League just last year, San Marino was great. You had that other great team. South Pasadena a little bit more formidable. I mean, this year, La Cañada, we thought they'd have the running back who never became eligible, Drake Beasley. Monrovia never had a really tough game in league. They've beaten probably the most watered-down Rio Hondo League that I can remember in recent memory, and I just think St. Paul's going to go in there, and this could be a smackdown on Friday, Aram. I really believe that.
Yeah, the way Monrovia is playing right now, I think, they have definitely a shot in this game. I just thought that they could have gotten a much better draw.
Tough draw. Yeah. But like I said, the way these divisions are set up, when you have teams like this from really tough leagues playing in down divisions because they've struggled in recent years, this is what you set up. This is how, this is probably, St. Paul has probably played 8 or 9 other tougher games than anyone they might see in this division all year. So real quick before you go to the next question, my other one, and I'm just going to throw it out there, is Northview and Chino. Northview was the number 2 seed in Division 8. Chino, although they're 4-6, really tough schedule. They lost a lot of close games. I know the Vikings have felt like over the years they've been on the wrong end of the stick in some of these pairings. And I know this one was another one where they said, God, man, when are you going to give us a real easy, winnable first-round game? They're going to win that game, but it's going to be tough.
Okay.
I like the energy, Fred. I like the energy.
Yeah, I bring energy in the playoffs. I bring energy all day long. This is what I do.
Guys, question
4 cups of coffee this morning. I'm jumping.
Question number 3. We've got 5 here. 3 is,
all right,
who has the most pressure for them going the furthest? What team maybe has expectations that might be a little too much for them, if you will? Aram?
This is pretty easy to me. This would be La Mirada. Because what other team that we cover is a defending state champion that has its quarterback back, that has several top recruits back? That would be these guys, La Mirada. Now, however, Division 3's just
there's a couple teams in there.
It's a juggernaut. There's more than a couple. It's a scary division. Even right off the bat, that Paso Robles team that they're playing, they are, they're no easy task. Let's get that right out of the way. But La Mirada, when you talk about a team that's beaten Orange Lutheran this year already, a Pac-5, a Division 1 Trinity League team. There's pressure on La Mirada. I don't see who else it could be, as far as, to make a deep run or push for a championship. They're ranked, by just about everybody as one of the top 10 or 15 teams in the Southland. So there's pressure on them, and rightfully so. But this is a tough division, not a gimme.
Yeah, and I probably agree with you, Aram. But I want to get some other teams involved here. But I do agree, La Mirada, there's probably the most pressure of any of our SGVN teams. I'm going to throw 2 out there real quick. Los Altos, I think, they've been number 1 all year. They've been undefeated. And this is a school that has a history of winning championships. Gano won 4. I think Despain won 7. And I think Dale Ziola, he wants to get his 1. They got the championship a couple years, didn't get it. I think they're in a division that they can win. I think all year when you look at it, they feel like they can win. They just got to get the deal done. And they're going to hang their hat on their defense as much as they are Tyler Nevins. If you look at the way they played defense against Charter Oak, West Covina the last 2 weeks, that defense has been outstanding. I'm going to get into my real one, though. Arroyo in Division 12. I think there's a lot of pressure there because I think we talked about this off air. Bourbon Day is probably a tougher than expected first-round opponent, even though they're 5-5. A lot of athletes. Those schools are always dangerous. And Division 12 has a lot of unknowns that we, like a lot of these divisions that are out of the area and you just don't know. And I think Arroyo's been wanting to go on that deep run. They've got the number 1 seed, the bullseye on their back. They don't want to go out first or second round this year. They've got to get, to me, semifinals or finals to make this year worth it.
Right.
Like that.
Fred's on fire, guys. Fred is on fire.
I don't even know what questions 4 or 5 are. Throw them at me, Ty.
I gotta mention a quick thing about Division 3. Like you said, the St. Francis, the Edison, the Cathedral. Even Cathedral's got heart. A good foothill league. in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
loaded.
It's kind of anyone ball game.
Yeah.
So.
And that Arroyo team, the only team they lost to all year was Hart, a team way out of their class.
Right.
I mean, to me, that's an undefeated team locally going in the playoffs.
Guys, question number 4. Oh, it could spur off the question number 3, and it is who is most likely to become the champion?
We're going to be in agreement here. Start it off, Fred.
Well, now I feel like I'm one of those candidates on the debate stage.
Yeah.
I didn't know the questions beforehand.
Oh.
And the question
I'm
is
springing them on you now.
Now I've got to answer off the
It's
top
always
of
the
my head.
host's fault.
Look.
Now, what was the question again, Tarek?
Most likely
Most likely
champion.
to be a champion.
Most likely to be a champion. I'm going to say Los Altos in Division 6. And I really believe that. I think that they're ready for this, being 10-0. I like the schedule they played. Beating Newport Harbor, a pretty good team out in Orange County earlier in the year. And like I said, they've got 2 things going for them, Aram. One is Tyler Nevins, who is a 5,000 career rusher, and their defense. I can't say that enough. They've played such great defense over the last 5 or 6 games, and that's the recipe for playoff success.
Right. When we were talking about these questions beforehand off air, Tarek was saying, so who's the biggest, most likely to be a champion? It's Los Altos, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, Tarek, stop stealing the answers. But yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And now that makes me want to change my answer for who has the most pressure because, we're sitting here saying, Los Altos got the best draw.
That's why I touched on Los Altos. That's why I brought them
now-
up as a secondary team.
Yeah, now we're sitting here, saying that, they're the most likely champion. And realistically, they are. Again, this is a team, this is a top seed that got a draw like a top seed should. A first round game where they're heavily favored, where there's probably not going to be much drama, and so on. The thing I'd like to say about Los Altos is this. At this time of year, if it's going to be 90 degrees like it has been in recent Novembers, this isn't such a factor. But if for some reason the weather changes to cold, to rainy, God forbid, they're set for that. This is a Big Ten team, basically. They rely on their line play. They rely on their stud running back. This time of year when everybody's, a spread team and everybody's, a little beat up and a little bit, vulnerable, teams that can run the ball and play defense the way Los Altos can have an advantage. And I just, I don't see anybody in D6 that can beat them. I think they're, a shoe-in to the championship
that's
game.
a good point.
They could be in the end of a lot of Tark's questions right now.
Yeah, right.
Well, guys, we've come to the 5th question.
Yeah, this is the best one.
Don't know what it is either. I just want to let
This
everybody
is the
know.
best one.
Matter of fact, I'm going to take my glasses
answer.
off for this one. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna
How many
my
hours of
laptop.
sleep you think you got last night?
I don't usually get a lot of hours of sleep. I like to stay up late watching the Lakers.
Well,
and
maybe
up early and
that's
get
a good
I have a
segue
lot
to
of
ask
coffee.
you.
That's why I'm in good shape.
I can tell you that my phone started ringing at like 7:30 this morning.
I'm fired up. It's playoff week.
Yeah.
Elections tomorrow, and I mean everything. I just love this time of year.
The reason why I asked you is
Go ahead.
because the 5th question is, who is the biggest sleeper? And clearly it's not you.
Do you want me
Yeah.
to
Go
start
ahead.
while you think?
Aaron,
about it?
yeah, go ahead. Let
Okay,
this guy,
so this will
Biggest
help
sleeper.
me so that Fred
I'm not
doesn't
going to
steal my
It's
answer
not going to
here.
be Bishop Ahmad, is it?
No.
Aaron's like, oh man,
Yeah,
I gotta
right,
pick
whatever.
another team. Aaron, go ahead. Biggest sleeper.
That was the only way I can get in Bishop Ahmad on this show. Go ahead.
Terrible. Okay, LaSalle. Again, I feel as confident in this answer as saying that Los Altos is the most likely champion. The biggest sleeper out there, to me, is LaSalle. This is a team that got in as an at-large in Division 9. Let's go through this. The number 1 seed, Cal Prep's ratings, their power rankings. The number 1 overall seed, Valley Christian, they're a 25. Antelope Valley is the 2 seed, a 21. The 3 seed is Silverado, an 18. LaSalle's power ranking is a 33.2. They come from the Angeles League. Again, if you've banged heads with Cathedral, Salesian, St. Francis,
Nothing you haven't
St.
seen
Paul,
before moving
nothing
forward.
you haven't seen before.
Right.
They've got the best weapon in the division in Amon Milliner. We talk a lot about Tyler Nevins. Amon Milliner is on that level. He's outstanding. If he's not too used up, because they pound this guy left and right, throughout the season. If he's not too used up and he's got 4 more big games left in him, LaSalle's going to run in this thing, man.
Okay.
They're going to run in D9.
Okay. Can you match that sleeper?
That's what makes them a sleeper.
I got a 1A, and then my big sleeper. My 1A, even though they're the number 2 seed in Division 8, I like Northview to run the table. I love how they've been playing at the end of the year. They're going to get by that Chino game, and I just love the way offensively and defensively, and they've just got something going there. I can vision them going in a deep run and winning it. My sleeper, Aram, probably won't believe this, is South Almani in Division 13.
That was my second one.
Yeah, South Almani in Division 13.
Of course, now you guys agree.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
That's a scary game, though, against Rio Hondo Prep in the opener, because you never know. This is Rio Hondo Prep's division. They've won this. They've won more championships than any team in San Gabriel Valley, mostly in divisions like this. But South Almani, remember, they only lost that one game to Arroyo, who is the number 1 seed in Division 10. Yeah. So they're a team that I think more than any of the Montview teams or any other area teams, they run the ball, they play good enough defense. They get through this game and get the what do you even call it out of their system? Just the first round out of their system. The danger out of their system. Yeah. I think they can go on a deep run and win this thing.
You talk about South Almani coaching Freddie, Wilhan Zeely on that staff, Mike Mooney on that staff, Gallardo, the head coach, has Lacerna experience. Yeah. They have Sal Tovar, one of the state's leading rushers, Tarek. The problem, my only concern about them, it's not really a problem, they might be a one-trick pony. You take away Sal Tovar, you're going to beat South Almani. But the thing is, this is D13, and when you got star power, even if it's just one guy and it's very obvious, like a Sal Tovar, you've got a lot. You know, it's D13. Nobody really does have star power. They might be in trouble down the road against a Duarte, a team with some speed. But yeah, I agree with you. This is a very, very nice sleeper team that's got a chance to make a real deep run.
Like that, Tarek?
Those were the 5 questions. I'm Tarek Fattal, Fred Robledo, Aram Tolegian. Let us know what we were right on. Let us know what we were wrong on. By all means, we always welcome the dialogue. We always welcome the controversy.
We didn't talk about Friday's game. We know Bishopmont would lose in the second round if they got to Mater Dei. Do they win Friday against Vista Marietta?
Yes.
Yeah, I got them winning too. I just
course.
We had to
Fred's
get Bishopmont on this one. Not Fred's Bishopmont, but they are the only Division I school in our area. They did have a great year. You got to give them credit for that. 7-3, beyond I think anyone on this stage's expectations. I don't know about T over here, but Aram and I were thinking 4-6.
Certainly solidified themselves as a D1 team.
And I liked them in that first game, but
so they made a liar out of you guys.
Yes, I guess
that's always a good thing.
Yes,
Steve Hargity, good job.
We'll see how it shakes out, guys. Until next time.